I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I know I should not be doing this. Mamma would not approve. But Uncle Leopold says that if I'm going to be any sort of success in the position that I may soon find myself in, then I must be true to myself. And I thought that since we are likely to be together for quite a long time, we should begin to get to know one another. And since I am not yet allowed to know you, I thought maybe you could begin to get to know me. I mean, I know I've been seen, but that's not the same thing at all. And someday, possibly quite soon, I'm going to be your queen. So, if you will allow me to properly introduce myself, I have the very great honour to be Her Royal Highness, the Princess Alexandrina Victoria of Kent. But you can call me Vicky. So, a little bit about me. I live in London at Kensington Palace, and though we are very near to my uncle the King and his court, we are not active, which annoys my uncle deeply. So we have a very small household. Mamma and myself, Sir John Conroy, our comptroller, who is a complete and total monster, the Lady Flora Hastings, who is vastly unpleasant, and my dear Baroness Lesson, who is my chief tutor and best friend in the whole world. I do have a half-brother and sister from Mamma's first marriage, but they live in Germany, and we see them very rarely. Do not think that I am being unreasonable about Conroy being a monster. He and Mamma have devised a scheme whereby either I should make out a regency order saying that Mamma shall have charge of me and the nation if the king dies before I turn 18, or that I should make Conroy a member of my private staff so he can continue to read my mail and tell me what to do and who I may see for the rest of my life. I shall do no such thing. I shall not give either of them a single scrap of my royal authority. I would not do that to you. We just have to make it until I turn 18. And it's not so very long now, just a few more months. So, like I said, I live in London, and despite this, I am allowed to go out very rarely. Certainly not to a normal school, like a normal child. Mamma and the monster say this is for my protection, and I don't know if maybe they might be right a little bit. The world isn't what it used to be. The need for kings and queens is changing. It's not what it was 100 years ago, or 2 or 3. But it's not as though I'm the last one. I have cousins, 2 of whom are called George, to carry on the dynasty if something should happen to my uncle. I suppose that's when something happens to my uncle. But I am educated at home, and the Baroness sees to most of my school. The Dean of Chester comes to give me my religious education, since I shall be head of the church. And Signore Lablache, the famous opera singer, he does my music. I do so love the opera. It's my favourite thing in the whole world. And I love the work of Sir Walter Scott, the famous author, who did just die recently, and that's very tragic. But I did hear that his novel, The Bride of Lammermoor, which is one of my absolute favourites, is going to be made into an opera, so my 2 favourite things in one. I'm just so excited for when it comes to London, and I do hope it is soon. And I have an amazing collection of dolls, and they're just so beautiful and perfect, and I can make all sorts of clothes for them, which is not a terribly useful skill when one is the heir to the throne, but it is the skill I have, and I'm actually quite proud of it. What else? I have Dash. Dash is my King Charles Spaniel, and he's just the best dog in the whole world, but as he can be a little bit loud, I thought he might not be an asset to the rather secret nature of this endeavour.
Victoria? Victoria, you know the rules.
Coming, Mamma. I'm so sorry.